Contestants who woke up and chose violence on Taskmaster.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I've got 3 sensitivity levels. I'll be honest, I'm on my top one.
Time to test the patience of the contestants. A bathtub filled with soapy water had the task floating on top of it. The goal was to empty this tub. However, one can't remove the plug, tip it sideways, or damage it in any way. A ticking time bomb task, heading straight to chaos and mayhem. Fasten your seatbelts, people. It's gonna get rough and rowdy in here. There were a number of ways this task could have been accomplished. But why go for those when you can dive in and start splashing around, right? That's exactly what Mr. Tim ended up doing. However, he nailed it.
There's one slight issue in that there was a rule saying you're not allowed to remove the plug. And during the passion of Tim, you can just see the plug, but it wasn't in all the time.
As soon as the contestants entered a room, they were greeted with an assortment of various objects. Turns out, these were the objects of their previous task, and now they would have to use them to draw the picture of the Taskmaster. They didn't see that coming.
You want me to do a picture of the escaped Easter Island monument that you call the Taskmaster?
Oh. I should have gone with something more varied than this.
James Lancaster was at a loss. And why wouldn't he be, when all he had to begin with were just a bunch of stones and a violin? Ooh, now that certainly required him to go for creativity, which he did, but with hints of violence. Here we go.
Okay, finally, this is what James Acaster, Portrait Artist of the Year, was working with. Well, he transformed that into these.
I was really pleased with it. I went into that room, I smashed it up, and I was amazed with each smash, it just came off like a perfect part of your body.
Alex was plugged into a blood pressure apparatus. Now, that was a clear hint the task involved him somehow. Well, it involved him greatly. The aim was to excite Alex. Yup, heard that right. The greatest increase in his heart rate would end up winning the task. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. And so, Mr. Gilbert got down to thinking.
So I'm gonna just...
Is this task, has it been phrased in a deliberately, provocatively saucy way?
I don't know.
Whatever you were hoping to get out of it, Rod delivered early doors, didn't he?
Poor Alex was in for a world of trouble with capital T. Rod thought it out apparently, but pretty soon it was just pure panic. And by doing so, there was one wave of violence after another in the lab room. Let's see if Alex got excited by that or not.
I just wanted to finish the pot. I don't like waste. How are we doing?
78.
Is that your final reading? I think we've learned a lot more about you than we have about me here.
I've learned a bit about you.
With these tasks, you just panic. It's blind panic.
Get ready, people. We have a chaotic challenge on our hands here. Oh, yes. All the contestants were lined up, and each had a stack of donuts in front of them. But there was a twist. There always is with the Taskmaster. The contestants were to hold hands and get the donut as high as they could manage when the clock stops.
If your donut is in the air, after 100 seconds, its height will be measured from where it lands.
So just to explain that final line, you can't just fling it up in the air at the end. It will be measured from where it lands.
OK.
So everyone needs to hold hands now. So it's only the donut, the fifth one up.
I'm ready, yeah.
OK, well, James is going to blow the whistle.
Here we go, guys. Best of luck to you.
Oh, this task begged the participants to unleash their violence on each other. And that too, with their hands bound. Pure chaos filled the auditorium of the Taskmaster as soon as Mr. James blew the whistle. Here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Now this task was one of those few loved by the contestants. Yup, it was time for them to pull out their kid versions as the task required them to bring a classic board game to life. Now, these two groups couldn't wait to go on this exhilarating adventure of imagination.
I had another one called Operation Seelöwe, which was about the Nazi invasion of Britain. Should we do that one?
Jenga, Operation...
Operation's quite funny.
What about that one, Don't Wake Dad?
Well, the task started out great. The contestants chose Buckaroo as their principal choice of game, and they most certainly brought it to life. However, the trouble began brewing when Greg wasn't too pleased by the result, and the contestant lost it. Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
The original had 3 sensitivity levels that were adjustable via a switch back.
I've got 3 sensitivity levels. And I'll be honest, I'm on my top.
The stage brimmed with an assortment of various objects, all ranging from mundane to downright absurd. But each contestant had a small suitcase with them. The contestant's task was to find innovative ways to accommodate them all. But there was a choice. They could either pack them or wear them on their bodies.
Packing for holiday, fastest wins. Any questions, contestants?
Can we take our blouses off? Okay. So when you finish, just stand next to your bags. Good luck. You ready, Joe?
The room was soon filled with all kinds of laughter and shouts. Pretty soon, the laughter turned into cries of frustration as they had a hard time fitting all the items in that tiny little case. And they started wearing them. However, Alex's number of rules regarding the game got on their nerves, and the rest was history.
You can't wear a spade! You can't wear a spade! What? He's not wearing the pinata! What? There's a lot of sweets! What?
Amidst a sea of covered bowls, the contestants found their next task. Turns out there were apples under each bowl, and their mission was to find as many red ones as they could in order to win. However, there was also a surprise under one bowl that simply meant they lost. Now that was tricky. It was like Sophie's Choice.
My only observations are, Sean saw some upturned bowls on some benches and said, "Oh, I am gonna love this." I can't imagine why. And secondly, the phrase sneaky sausage, simply unacceptable.
Joe and Ian were two needy guys. The more pink ladies they found, the more they thought they had it all figured out. However, soon Ian was met with a close call, but Lady Luck was on his side that day. Well, that was until his curiosity got the better of him. And we know the old saying, curiosity killed the cat. Let's see that for real.
I want a short ball. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. What did I say that one? Yeah.
Yeah, it's right.
Now this task was as bizarre as it was entertaining. The contestants were required to construct the largest beer mat tower possible, and the twist was that they also had to ring the doorbell at precisely timed intervals. Yup, not so simple now, is it?
Okay, so they had ever-diminishing time periods to go in and out of the room. They could see a clock. They could see the time ticking down, otherwise it would be too hard. But they had just over a quarter of an hour in total, but obviously they would have smaller and smaller gaps as they went along.
Sir Johnny Vegas felt right at home with this task. Apparently, building beer mats was right in his wheelhouse. However, the task required them to keep one eye on the mats and the other on the dwindling countdown. And so, Johnny's meltdown over this task began. Boy, did he get frustrated.
Nicky, let off on the prairie, okay? Otherwise, what's the point? It's just a homestead!
There was a drum and there was a runway. What could go wrong? Well, a lot of things, man. The contestants were tasked with hitting the drum at exactly 9.58 seconds. However, they can't simply walk up to the drum and hit it. Absolutely not. They had to walk magnificently.
On my whistle, here we go.
Miss Jessica was ready and pumped up. Seemed she had it all figured out. Or did she? Well, it started out pretty great. She was walking, or whatever you want to call that. It's up to you. However, it soon got violent. She was okay, though, and did finish the task.
Please tell me you fell off.
A cup was perched precariously on a pole. Now the task was pretty simple. Fill that cup till it overflows. While it sounded simple, Marwan was sure as heck there was a deeper meaning to it. It seemed he won't stop till he cracks that code. Let's see how that goes.
Would you like to say who's going to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Johnny.
No, it's going to be Marwan first.
Marwan really woke up and went for violence immediately. He didn't plan the task out at all. As soon as the whistle was bloweth, so the cup could be overfloweth, he just started throwing, be it a bucket of water or a mug of tea. He was going for it.
The rule was obviously that only liquids could touch the red-green.
But that was cool.
Or you saw the funnel just missing it, didn't you?
The task at hand was deceptively simple, so much so the contestants saw it coming a mile away. They were presented with 2 buckets, and the requirement was to move the water from one bucket to the other. Now, the seemingly simple task turned out to be not so simple when they could not touch the buckets. Yep, that was the catch.
Loads of things that are clearly useless for moving water. These are intelligent people. They won't try and use them, right?
Next up, we've got Dave and Sarah.
Sellotape. I was going to wear the hat.
Seriously?
Now the contestants were given a bunch of things to help move the water, but in reality, they were just rubbish. But some participants thought they could be innovative with this task, and so Mr. Dave unleashed his violence with a dash of creativity out to play.
Have you, again, cheated?
I can honestly say no to that because I didn't cheat before.
Well, we did film it.
Dave, you're disqualified from that round.
A small bowl was floating in water in a small fish tank, but the bowl was empty. Now, here comes the tricky task. The contestants had to fill the little bowl with coins without touching it and sinking it down. And they had to do one more thing every 30 seconds as well. Here it is.
Also, you must say your own name at least once every 30 seconds.
You have 5 minutes.
The money in the small bowl with the highest total numerical value wins.
The time starts now.
James and Rod were ready and pumped to get down to business. It started out great. They strategically put the coins while saying their names every 30 seconds. However, it got tricky when these guys tried ingenious ways to save the bowl from sinking. And there was no coming back from it for our old dear pal, Rod Gilbert.
I've got a delicate situation here involving a little bowl within water. What do you reach for?
A skull!
Skull!
I thought that will drain it as it's coming out. However, I neglected to notice that the skull was slightly bigger than the bowl over there.
In a daring display of lung power and determination, the contestants were all ready for a balloon blowing challenge. However, they had to blow those balloons blindfolded. The mightiest balloon would take the lead. As soon as the task was announced, Mr. Whitaker immediately had his inhaler out. Looked like things were about to get really serious.
I'm absolutely terrified of blowing up balloons.
Are you more or less frightened of balloons than physical contact with another man?
Oh, I'd prefer contact with another man, so...
Hold on, do we have a choice now? You didn't say that before.
Deprived of vision, but still high in spirit, the contestants put on their blindfold and waited for the whistle. All of them began blowing, some obviously slower than others. Pretty soon, they all started playing dirty with each other. Even Alex, as he started popping balloons around them to derail them off their game. Sneaky Alex.
That was one of the most terrifying things that's ever happened to me.
You may now take your blindfold off.
Oh, well, I've had a nightmare.
I think it's safe to say Whittaker has blown his lead.
All right, folks, so here was the deal. The contestants were sorted into groups and led to a hammock which held the task. The task was to fill this hammock with items without flipping it over. Yep, this hammock was about to be a heavyweight champion.
Should we discuss it before we say your time starts now?
Oh, you've just said your time starts now. I've started the clock.
Time starts now.
Right.
Well, this group task required group effort, but this group of contestants had no plan to get along with each other. Nope, they were at each other's throats. Two of them were at an impasse, and they spent the majority of the time arguing over ideas. Come on, people, that's not how to do it.
Yeah, go on, chuck it in. Maybe don't put it all on the one side. Don't put it on the one side, Lou.
Thank you, guys.
I'm so slow. Such a little bossy boots, aren't you?
That wasn't pleasant for me to watch.